Hello. I'm pleased to tell you that per the bishop's direction and the current low transmission rate in Iredell County, masks are no longer required in worship and other in-person gatherings. Please note this word choice. While no longer required, masks are recommended. I will wear mine during some parts of the service. And if you are yet to be fully vaccinated, consider yourself immunocompromised in any way, or think you may have had a recent exposure, you should consider the mask requirement still in place. Know also that if numbers in Iredell turn around, we may have to pivot back to masks. We'll follow the numbers and continue to do our best to keep each other safe. After Ash Wednesday, the first Sunday in Lent takes Jesus to the wilderness. And in that 40-day wilderness time, the devil tries to seduce Jesus with the promise of bread when he's hungry, the glory and power of all the world's leaders, and the promise of rescue paired with the suggestion that God is not sufficient to keep Jesus safe. And all Jesus has to do in return is worship Satan. In each case, the devil tries to undermine Jesus' confidence in both God and himself. That is, he seeks to erode Jesus' confidence that he himself is enough, that he is secure, that he is worthy of God's love. And in the face of these temptations, Jesus quotes the sacred story of Israel in order to assert that he is a part of that story and therefore reaffirm his identity as a child of God. Rooted in the scriptures, that is, Jesus is reminded not only that he has enough and is enough, but that he is of infinite worth in the eyes of God. On one level, we experience specific temptations very concretely. But on another level, they're all the same, as they seek to shift our allegiance, trust, and confidence away from God and toward some substitute that promises a more secure identity. Which is why this passage is really about having our identities hijacked. It's about identity theft. And not simply the devil's failed attempt to steal Jesus' identity, but all the attempts to rob us of ours. We're bombarded every single day by tempting messages that seek to draw our allegiance from the God who created and redeemed us towards some meager substitute. We're tempted to trade love for short-term profits, to make compromises that weaken our resolve to stand firm in God's blessed assurance. And in response, our challenge is to remember that God loves us more than anything, loves us. All of us, enough to send God's only Son into the world to take on our lot in our life, to suffer the same temptations and wants, to be rejected as we often feel rejected, and to die as we will die, all so that we may know that God is with us and for us forever. Moreover, God raised Jesus from the dead in order to demonstrate that God's love is more powerful than all the hate in the world, and that the life God offers is more powerful even than death. Lent is often focused on self-denial, sacrifice, and resisting temptation, and that's all well and good. But maybe instead of that, or at least in addition to that, imagine that Lent could be an ideal time to remind each other of the love and grace of God poured out for us on the cross and offered to each of us in baptism. As we walk through the days of Lent, perhaps we can focus our eyes on the cross, because in that image, difficult though it can be, we perceive most clearly God's empowering love made manifest for us and all the world. God loves us and will keep loving us, no matter what. And for this reason, we are enough. God loves us and we are enough. I know that I need to hear this again and again, because in the face of all the messages to the contrary, that promise can seem so hard to believe. Remember that you are a beloved child of God and are holy and precious in God's sight. See you soon.